Question 1 on the ballot, November 6th, is about an income tax and whether you want to put into the Constitution, enshrining it, a ban on an income tax. Now, we saw at the end of last week, the campaign just began to pass this constitutional amendment with about 4 weeks to go before the election. That's rather stunning. I mean, that supporters of this proposal, Republican legislative leaders, were declaring this was one of their signature achievements in the 2011-2012 biennium session of the legislature. And the issue went away for months. Wasn't talked about, money wasn't raised in order to promote the question. Now they pick it back up. They put Kevin Smith, the Republican candidate for governor, in charge of creating this grassroots volunteer and probably some direct mail and perhaps radio advertising effort to pass this question. Really lengthens the odds of this passing. Will a majority support a ban on an income tax on the ballot? Absolutely. Could it get to 60%? I think it could, depending on the turnout. I do think it could get 60% support, but 2/3 is required to pass an amendment to the state constitution. That's an extremely high bar. And one thing we know about November 6th, with Barack Obama's presidential campaign really coming back to life in New Hampshire in the last 6 months, and the energy on the ground for Democrats much stronger than they were 3-4 months ago, you can be sure real supporters of an income tax, or even those who want to keep an income tax in the discussion, are going to take a ballot November 6th. They're going to vote no on question 1. So that level of intensity requires a pretty large turnout, not only for Mitt Romney, but a large turnout for Republicans or fiscally conservative independents who decide, you know, even though these Republican candidates don't interest me, I'm going to vote on the income tax question, and I'm going to vote yes to ban an income tax. We've really yet to see as well, which I thought we would, much campaigning done in the race for governor and even in the races for the state legislature on the income tax question, trying to pin candidates on that question, whether it's in a liberal district, trying to pin the Republican who wants to ban an income tax forever, in a more conservative Republican district, trying to pin down the Democratic candidate who may oppose the question or even hasn't taken a position yet. This is one of the reasons why it's going to be very difficult to pass question 1. And I think it relies on an enormous turnout of conservatives and independents. We saw them 2 years ago gain these great gains in the legislature. But as we know, up to 1/3 more voters vote in the presidential election. How many of them are actually going to bother with these constitutional questions? If they don't, that could spell trouble for those who want to ban an income tax.